What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my wedding. So for those of you that follow me on social media, you'll know that I got married about a month ago in October. I can't believe time is already flying by. It's been flying by. But anyways, I thought it'd be a really neat to do a video about my wedding and what it was like planning it. I did plan it mostly on my own. I didn't have like a wedding planner. And so as I went through the process, there was a lot of things that I felt like, I wish I would have known. And so I wanted to share that for any brides out there that are getting ready to get married, or maybe you're a bridesmaid or a groomsman that you're helping somebody to plan their wedding. I hope you find this video informative. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show a highlight video that we got, and I was so excited to get it. I'm still waiting for all my pictures and another video from the wedding, but we got our highlight video, which makes me so emotional, and I will post that at the end of the video. I also posted a Q&A on my social media to hopefully answer a few of your questions about our wedding and what it was like planning it. And I'll be sharing my 5 top tips or things I wish I would have known before planning my wedding, as I kind of learned along. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Alright, so these topics are not in any type of order, but I think we can start off with the first one was, I think like any bride or any couple, they really want to stay on budget, right? So you have your budget, and one of the biggest things that controls that is your guest count, in my opinion. Both Juan and I come from really large families, and I mean, I'm one of 6 and he's one of 10, so you can imagine how many family members we have, but I really wanted to control the number of guest count, otherwise I knew that my budget was going to get out of control. And so one of the things that I did and I kind of researched was on an RSVP card. So when you send your wedding invites, I included an RSVP card. Now, us Hispanics, we're not used to RSVPing. I know that is different for some people, but I thought it was really neat that, so for example, a family of 5, right? If I have a sister with a brother-in-law and their kids, and it's 5 of them, in the card, and I'll post a picture here, in the card I put that we reserved 5 seats in your honor. Please let us know if you'll be attending or not and how many. So that way the invite or the guest knew that we were only giving them 5 seats. So that way they didn't try to, bring a friend or a cousin that we didn't invite. So I think that really helped control, so they knew that, hey, I gave you 5. How many of you guys are coming? Yes or no? And yeah, that really helped me out. Now, another thing was you really had to track down your RSVPs. So again, some people are not used to RSVPing, but don't be afraid and track them down. Like, hey, did you get my RSVP? Are you coming? Even if it's like the week before the wedding, you need to know, right? Because you need to know your final guest count. And I think that a lot of people don't realize how much money it goes into just one person. I mean, it ranges from like $20 a person to $40, $50 a person. So, for any guests out there that you've been invited to a wedding, please RSVP. So when guests don't end up RSVPing, or they RSVP and they don't show up, and you end up with, 10 seats, for example, I mean, that's, $25 to $30 a person. So just keep that in mind. But, don't be afraid to reach out and get your RSVPs and assigned how many people are coming. And that brings me to one of the questions that I got on social media was that, did we stay under budget or on budget? And the answer was no. I mean, I don't think it's possible for any couple to stay on budget. There's things that come up. There's things that last minute you didn't think about and you need to have them. All the little details add up. So no, I didn't stay on budget, but I prepared for it. So as things were kind of adding up, I was just making preparations to ensure that that it was doable, that whatever we wanted was feasible, right? Definitely didn't want to go above or beyond my means. So the answer was no, I didn't stay on my budget, but luckily I was able to plan as we went along. And that question leads me to my number 2 topic, which is tipping. Something I didn't even think about until literally a month or a month and a half before the wedding is you have to tip your vendors. That I was able to Google like what vendors do you usually tip, what's highly recommended, the amounts. So definitely make room for your budget for tipping. Also, what I did is put cash in envelopes, and I had wrote down what vendor it was for. So at the end of the night, I highly suggest that you have somebody in charge of tipping those vendors when they're leaving. I did not do that. I actually just took it upon myself to give them their tips when they were approaching me saying that they were leaving, and I totally like forgot to tip one, and I felt super bad. I didn't realize until the next day because I had too many drinks. So luckily I was able to work that out later. But yeah, I suggest that you get somebody to help you kind of give those tips away at the end of the night. All right, so now I'm gonna answer another question that I got, and this was, did I wear Spanx under my dress? And the answer is no. I didn't have to wear Spanx, luckily, but I also could not wear underwear. So yeah, sorry friends and family, TMI. The way that my dress was, it was on the sides, it was see-through, and it had like some sparklies, but because the sides went down very low, I could not wear underwear with them. I did buy kind of the clear underwear that was pretty much clear from the sides, but it was making dents into my skin, and so you could still see kind of the outline, and so I just had to go commando. So yes, I was commando the entire time. At the end of the video, I'm going to post our highlight video from our wedding, so maybe you'll get to see a little bit of the dress, and I'll also post a picture. So yeah, went commando. Moving on to my number 3 item that I wish I would have known. So this one, I knew about it, but I just didn't do it, and then I felt like I should have, was to create an email account just for everything wedding. All your wedding vendors, coordinators, anything wedding related. I do suggest that you create a new separate email account, because especially with COVID right now, and just kind of with the times, everything is online, it's electronic, it's email. So I did not do that, unfortunately, and so a lot of my personal and junk emails were mixed in with wedding emails. I mean, you guys know, I'm sure my mail inbox is out of control, and so it was hard to keep me organized when I was trying to find an email and I was in a rush. So yeah, I highly recommend that you create a new email address just for everything wedding. All right, and the next question I got was, how did you know what song to dance to? So this I didn't know, to be honest, but we did have in mind an Elvis song, which last minute I ended up changing it. I'll post the song that we danced to, and it was I'll Be. And when I heard it, I remember I was working on wedding invites, and I just had the radio playing because I was just kind of, you know, organizing the wedding invitations, and this song came up and I started crying. Like, it just made me feel so much love, just very emotional, but in a good way. And I immediately texted Juan and I said, listen to this song, I think we should dance to it. What do you think? And he was at work at the time, he listened to it and he loved it. So yeah, we definitely practiced our first dance, and to this day, I really like that song. Okay, my number 4 thing I wish I knew, but luckily I learned through the process, was to get a wedding coordinator. The venue that we booked offered wedding coordinator services, and you could do a coordinator that's assigned to your wedding from at 6 months, I believe, a month before, and then the day of the wedding. So we chose the 1 month before the wedding, and it was very, very helpful. So if you can get a wedding coordinator, they basically help you the day of the wedding to make sure the vendors are where they need to be. They're making sure that they're reaching out to your vendors, times, moving along the events during your wedding. I mean, anything that you need, they're there to help you on your big day, and you really need somebody to take control. You can also ask maybe like a family member to do that, or a friend, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted my guests or my friends and family to really enjoy the wedding, so I didn't want to put too much pressure on them helping me that actual day. But yes, highly recommend that you hire a wedding coordinator, at least, you know, even if it's just for short term, like they can assign it to you a month ahead or even just the day of. But I'm telling you guys, it was a lifesaver. My wedding coordinator was great. Yes, highly recommend that. Next question that I got was, would you have done anything different now that the wedding is over, right? So looking back, would you have done anything different? And honestly, I was even talking to Juan, like, I feel like I wouldn't have done anything different. I am a very meticulous person. I can be very neurotic when it comes to planning things. I don't really like surprises. I want to know what's going to happen. And so I really took charge of, you know, ensuring that down to the last detail, I was prepared. And so I think that really helped ensure that things went smoothly. Of course, things are going to come up. I mean, there was, you know, a handful of things that came up on that day that were unexpected. But I wouldn't change anything. If I really had to pick something, was maybe to have somebody help me with my dress, because my dress had a really long train and veil. And when we were taking our portraits with the photographer, I really wish that somebody was there to help me with my dress, just so that it would look nice on the pictures. I mean, the photographer really couldn't do both my dress and take pictures. So if I had to pick anything, maybe that I think would have been a little bit more helpful. My fifth thing that I'm going to share with you guys that I wish I would have known was the post-wedding day blues. I did not know that was going to happen. So you mean you go years and months planning your wedding, and so after it's over, you know, you go to your honeymoon and you look at all the pictures, but that week after the wedding was very emotional for me. Even to this day, makes me emotional and kind of sad to look at other wedding posts. I ended up following a lot of wedding accounts on Instagram, and now when I'm scrolling through, I don't even want to see them because it makes me sad that it's over. It's kind of like, now what? You know, now real life. But it was very emotional week. So for all my brides, if you're planning, even if it's a small wedding, but you go months and months, even years planning it, and then it's over, it is sad. So be prepared for the post-wedding day blues. And my last question was, did you do a first look or a first touch? So it's very modern right now to do a first look, which is basically when the bride and groom see each other for the first time before walking down the aisle. Some of them now are doing like first touch, so where maybe they're holding hands, but they're not necessarily seeing each other. And I decided not to do that. I really wanted to go the traditional route, something about just building the suspense and not seeing each other until I'm walking down the aisle. That's really something that from day one I said that I wanted. So I just feel like, to me, it made that more special. Even though I know couples that have done first looks walking down the aisle, they said you still feel that same excitement, of course, but I just didn't want to risk it. So I really just wanted to do the more traditional path and see each other until we walk down the aisle. And oh my gosh, I was a nervous wreck. It was wonderful. Honestly, I feel like I can go on and on about the wedding, and there's a lot of other things that come to mind, but I feel like those were kind of the bigger things that really made a difference and that I wanted to share with any future brides. But oh my gosh, I had the best time. I'm so glad. Brides, just please enjoy your day no matter what happens that day. You've worked so hard to get to that day, and your couple too, your groom. Just enjoy it, because hopefully, you know, this is the only time that you're gonna do it, and just enjoy it and embrace the entire day, because it's gonna go by really fast. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, bye.